believe we are about ready to go for Facebook, so let's go ahead and give this a try and see what happens. Apologies to everybody on Twitch and YouTube for last night. We had some issues with the big monitor behind us, so we weren't able to get onto Twitch and YouTube because I wasn't able to route the weather computer to this monitor, so no one on Twitch or YouTube could actually see anything. So that is why we weren't on for Wednesday evening, and I apologize again to our Twitch and YouTube viewers for that little hiccup. One of these days I'm going to learn how to punch the show from back in the control room so that everybody can see a little bit more about what goes on, and you got to get the source and the destination just right. It's kind of like plugging in a GPS map. Everything has to go to the right location at the right time. So that is where we are looking at for the potential into the rest of the area for tonight for rain. So let's go ahead and get this started for Facebook. I hope this is right because it looked like it was doing the right thing earlier. Anyway, apologies for that mess up. Might happen again, you never know. We'll see what goes on. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and see and hope this works. Looks like we are live, so stay tuned, and here we go. All right, good Thursday evening, everybody. I am Chief Meteorologist Austen Onek with the latest edition of News 12's video weather blog, Weather Overtime, giving you, the viewers, wherever you happen to be, especially around the southeast United States. We are coming to you live from Chattanooga, Tennessee, from the News 12 studios on Broad Street, and thanks for joining us for this evening. Apologies again, just tuning in, getting Facebook online, but apologies to everybody on Twitch and YouTube. We were not able to bring you weather overtime last night as our monitor back here, which is bringing you the graphics that I talk about, which is routed up to our main weather graphics system. This was not working, so I wasn't able to show everybody what exactly you happen to be looking at the time. So it was kind of hard to let people see anything about the weather when I couldn't route up anything in the way of graphics for everybody to look at. So that wasn't fair to anybody on Twitch and YouTube. So that's why we started off with no Twitch and YouTube last night. We're on a little bit earlier tonight. It's just past 9:30 Eastern time. We've got some recording situations going on here that we take care of on Thursday nights at 11 o'clock. And we're also running late due to the president's press conference speech thingy. So we will be on a little bit later due to the political commentary going on afterwards on CBS. So we'll bring you an update as to when we will be on the air coming up a little bit later on for that. In the meantime, let's go ahead and get into it for tonight, as we have rather a lot to talk about in our own way, and we do have the potential of some activity where it comes to flash flooding. And there's a couple things out there that you might like to know about when it comes to water quality and when it comes to weather forecast graphic look that you can chime in on. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. Officially, no rainfall for today, and we were just about as close to normal as we could get for this time of the year on temperatures. 53, that's a pretty big burst of cool air for this time of the year. Happened 1967, so that's pushing, what, about 49 years ago, somewhere in there, 59 years ago. So we're looking at a long time between record low temperatures. Not going to see any record low temperatures tonight. Late night snack run past midnight. Temperatures will be, again, briefly on the mild side before we get back toward hot and humid, but we're not getting anything in the way of crisp and cool weather anytime soon. That would be nice, but that's just not going to be happening, at least for this evening, and maybe some patchy fog as well. Through the rest of the day, it will see temperatures back into around the upper 80s to lower 90s yet again. So if you have any plans for being outdoors, that again will be great. Don't forget the sunblock, and don't forget also there will be the potential of more showers and thunderstorms out there. So again, the potential will be for an interruption to the swimming, hopefully not a cancellation, but we'll keep you updated on that. In the meantime, please remain weather aware, especially for any of the young ones out there. Time to hop out of the pool when there's lightning seen or thunder heard. Downtown, 1% list scenic city camera, and a beautiful crescent moon in the western skies. So we were able to pick up that through at least a little bit of the cloud cover out there. Right now, there's precious little in the way of anything involving rainfall taking place, although there are some scattered showers that are trying to get going. Let's turn the camera around here by just a little bit, and hopefully I've gotten it far enough. Nope, not far enough there, just a little bit farther. Get out from underneath the 1% list scenic city camera, and a beautiful view. There we go. Crescent moon bracketed by a few clouds and the remnants of sunset. The Chinese space station will be flying overhead from west-northwest to east-northeast at 10:14, somewhere just about that time frame. Go to our social media pages if you'd like to see a little bit more on that for tonight. Temperatures at the airport, we're back in the mid-80s. It's still quite toasty out there. It feels like 91 degrees. So we do have some pretty close conditions out there with dew point temperatures back in the lower 70s in here. We do have, again, some thunderstorms back to our north over portions of the area north of I-40, up into portions of central Kentucky. Not really a problem for us. These storms really have not much emphasis to move them anyplace. There's no big storm systems to push them through. So these storms are basically just wandering. They develop, drift, collapse, start back over again. Murfreesboro picking up some thunderstorms which are barely moving at this time. And beyond that, we had some pretty good thunderstorms earlier down toward Atlanta. Most of that has fallen apart, although there are still some scattered light showers over portions of northwest and north central Georgia, generally drifting northwest, but beyond that, that's really not much more than that. Some more thunderstorms well back to our north and some decently powerful ones over portions of the upper Midwest and into the Missouri River Valley, but really not much more than that for right now. So fairly quiet. And for the entire big picture, this is our weather maker, even though it doesn't look like much for right now. It's a leftover front. It's just strong enough. There's just enough definition between the air masses to trigger these showers and thunderstorms going on. And we'll continue to see more of those into the course of the next few days. Now, that storm system I told you about is going to wash out. It's just going to spread out and get erased in the atmosphere. This is our next storm system up to the northern plain states, and that will be dropping our direction in the next few days. But through Friday and into the rest of the weekend, we will have such a moisture-rich atmosphere that it's going to be very easy for any thunderstorms to form across much of the region, because we're going to be looking again for just a little bit of emphasis to get those storms going. It's not going to take much. The sunshine down toward the lower atmosphere, bubbling things up like a convection plate on the stove, and that is what we're going to see in the course of the next several days, is these chances of showers and thunderstorms sticking around through the weekend. As this system moves on through, you'd expect temperatures to kind of knock off a little bit, but that's not going to happen, because by the time we hit about Monday afternoon, it may be a little bit less on temperatures back in the 80s and lower to mid 90s, but it's a good possibility that as long as these systems are around, we will see temperatures next week about and down toward Atlanta and Birmingham into around the rest of the forecast period. We may see the potential for heat index temperatures pushing 105 degrees. Jesse Tyndall 07E on YouTube. How was your day today? I ran out of root beer and I forgot the vanilla ice cream at the store, so I could use a little bit more of that, but unfortunately have to wait until tomorrow to get that taken care of. And thanks to, again, everybody for checking in for tonight. Diane Thomas on Facebook, thanks for the update. Always glad to help out to get some weather information out there so everybody can learn a little bit more about what's going on. If you want to say hi or drop your location into the comments section, please do so. Again, we are live on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook Live for this evening. 60s and 70s for tonight, lower to mid 90s as we get into tomorrow. This is also going to be interesting because down to our south and east, we have a system that looks like it's going to be developing over portions of the northeastern Gulf. Now, when that happens, if that continues, again, this is only about a 20% chance of development on this time frame, but it is going to be possible that we see more definition with this storm into the next few days as it crosses Florida, heads toward the U.S. East Coast. The motion of this, remember, air around low pressure rotates counterclockwise, so this is going to move even more moisture-rich air up on shore, and that, with that irritation by that area of low pressure, if it develops, could give us the potential again of more rainfall being pushed up toward the coastline. Now, this is not at this time, looks like it's going to be a hurricane or anything even stronger than maybe a tropical depression if, again, it gets that far. But if you're heading toward Florida, coastal Georgia, and the west and the eastern parts of the Outer Banks of the Carolinas in that area, this could interrupt your weekend beach vacation, so I would be paying attention to that. Now, not only for that storm system, but way out over the eastern Atlantic, we have a new system right off of the Sahel in Africa, and that is where you can get some of the most powerful hurricanes coming from these teeny tiny little waves of energy. But because of the Sahara Desert opening up, most of the air over the Atlantic is almost bone dry, so it's very unlikely that this will actually amount to anything. But again, we are in hurricane season, so we do need to pay attention to that as this develops. The oceans are very warm to begin with. They're going to continue to heat up over the next few days and weeks, and that's what we really need to be watching out for, especially if you're visiting a coastline. Two disturbances right now. We have one southwest of the Hawaiian Islands scooting off into the central Pacific. Not much of a chance of development there. And then we have in the large red area a very good possibility of a new disturbance, which will be following on the heels of Tropical Storm Elida or Elida, depending on how you say that. I've seen both pronunciations from some weather authorities out there, so going with either pronunciation, but we'll call it Elida for right now. Elida is now again expected to, according to the majority of the computer models, take more of a northerly tack, and this is going to get interesting because if this happens, we've already seen the southwest United States get hit by a decent amount of moisture, almost a monsoonal flow, which you don't typically get at this time of the year in such magnitude. This, on the other hand, where we could be looking at the possibility of this system again developing, moving up this direction, and again the swirl around any low pressure that develops could push even more moisture toward the western United States. Now, that'll help with wildfires and drought. Outdoor activities from San Diego all the way up to Portland could be looking at some big changes in the weather in the next few days. That is also something that we'll be watching very carefully out there. Tons of dust making its way off the Sahara and over the Atlantic. Numerous plumes out there, but there are just enough gaps to where we could get tropical activity forming. And into next week, if everything holds, it looks like we're going to be seeing the potential for a very large, very strong plume of dust coming in from off of West and Northwest Africa. And again, that dust cuts out a lot of the sunlight, so that reduces the tropical storm potential for the entire Atlantic basin. Now, that doesn't mean that we won't get anything forming. Don't carve that in stone, because again, these little gaps here and just north of there with those warm ocean waters, it is possible that we could see development taking place. So that is something that we really do need to watch. Again, especially if you're planning on visiting anything near an ocean coastline in the course of the next several days, that really is going to matter quite a lot, especially for your own safety on there. Two things to tell you about tonight, kind of extracurricular activities. If you'd like to know more about this, local group called My Waterways, based in and around Chattanooga. They've been doing this summer project where they've been testing the amount of E. coli in various local waterways, and those include Big Soddy Creek Gulf, Middle Creek, Suck Creek, Rainbow Lake, Greenway Farm, and Audubon Acres. Now, this one is about a week old, the latest report that they had on their social media pages. If you'd like to check out more about the Waterways Summer Swim Report and how the E. coli levels are doing before dipping a toe someplace that you may not want to be dipping a toe in because of this, very neat place to go to. Again, you can find them on social media for more, or you can go to mywaterways.org/monitoring if you'd like to keep up with more of that. And that, again, is information that I picked up off their website and off of their Instagram page. So thanks to My Waterways for an update on that particular situation. Now, there's also something going on. Some of you may use this, some of you may not. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration has several branches to it. A lot of people think that all NOAA does is talk about climate change, and that's why we've got to shut NOAA down so they can't talk about it anymore. That's a very mistaken, backwards attitude to have, and NOAA does so much more than talk about climate change. They do talk about climate change. That's part of their charter. That's part of their job to monitor stuff like that. But they also take a look at sea ice. They also take a look at shipping weather for various planes, trains, and automobiles in various parts of the world. They also take a look at agriculture health and how much trash is in the ocean. This one right here is pretty neat from the Weather Prediction Center. This is a sort of generic catch-all weather map that they issue several times per day. The current look is, again, what you see with the colors and the hatching to determine what goes on and where. It's what meteorologists and pilots and researchers look at, taking a look at what may be happening. Now, in the near future, there's been a proposal to change the color scheme by just a little bit to kind of give more broad brush strokes, so to speak, more vibrant colors, a little bit more in the way of detail on the map. It gets a little bit more crowded here, in my opinion, but if you like it the old way or if you like it the new way that's being proposed, you've got a few days left to voice your opinion. And this is what happens in government circles like this. They open it up to public opinion so that you, the citizen and taxpayer, can voice your opinion and say, I like this, I don't like this. Great opportunity to learn more. You can go to noaa.gov to find out more, or you can go directly to the Weather Prediction Center at WPC.NCEP. That's the National Centers for Environmental Prediction. NOAA, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration.gov. This is a really great opportunity. It doesn't come around a lot, but when it does, it's a good opportunity for you to be able to say yay or nay on something and really help out those who are in charge of stuff like this to realize a little bit more about what we can do better or what we don't need to change. And you don't change stuff just because you can, but if it helps people understand weather more, or if you like it the old way, again, great opportunity to learn more on that, to take a look at what goes on. Looking out toward Island Cove Marina and Resorts, a little bit breezy, bit of ripples on Lake Chickamauga. Temperatures over the next few days will be on the hot side. No big change on that. There is a potential of flash flooding going on for Friday, so we will see some potential out there of some stronger weather, maybe storms that are strong to borderline severe, but really not looking at a huge amount out there, but that we will see increasing chances of showers and thunderstorms into the weekend. World Ice Cream Day, with temperatures like that, definitely want to make certain you get something to cool off. And International Chess Day is this Monday, July 20th, and temperatures, as the rainfall amount decreases, the temperatures will increase into the lower 90s. So we will be looking at some much warmer conditions out there into the course of the next few days. So if you have any plans for getting outdoors, that, again, might be just a bit of a problem out there. Weather poll trivia of the day. Our weather poll brought to you by Williams Plumbing Services, redefining the standard. If you'd like to vote in our polls, just go to our website. It's available again at WDEF.com/vote now. 1962's Crying in the Rain by Don and Phil, the Everly Brothers, was co-written by which musician? Carole King, Little Richard, or Patti Page? And the winning amount of votes, the most popular vote, was 67% going for Carole King. Some of you might remember her hits from the 60s and 70s that she penned. She also was the singer for the Gilmore Girls theme song, for those of you who are a little bit younger, if you didn't know that before. Thanks to everybody who voted in our poll. We'll have a new poll going up at midnight where you can take a look at our pictures of the week and see again which one was the most popular. So if you'd like to take a look at that, please go to our website and take a look at more details there. Overnight, temperatures will be back into the low to mid 70s only. Really not much better than that anytime soon. So the cool, dry days of November seem to be very much on the far away side of things. We're just not getting into those cool periods of time like we would really like to have at this time of the year. So not really too much in the way of good news on that. So again, try to find a way to stay cool, as if this is as cool as we're going to get. Definitely want to make certain you find a way to cool off into the rest of the day. Chip Chapman has got your forecast coming up on the morning show, so stay tuned for more with him, and he'll keep you advised, time saver traffic and everything else going on. That should do it for tonight. We've got to wrap things up because we're about ready to start recording things in the studio, so want to make certain everybody's up to date on things. And as of right now, should be again fairly quiet for overnight, but maybe a wandering raindrop, and that is really going to be just about it. Questions, concerns, ideas, complaints, if you absolutely must. Again, you can reach me through the email address down at the blue bar, aonek@wdef.com. You can reach anybody here at News 12 through our website. If you've got ideas for a story we could cover, that's great, but please send us that information as far in advance as possible. We have to know about it ahead of time, and telling us the morning it starts may not be able to get you anything in the way of coverage. So we have a limited staff here, so we can cover some, but not everything going on from time to time. But we need to know about that from you. And you, the public, is where we depend on, where we get the information from when it comes to everything involving what's going on around the area. If you see news happening someplace, your group has an event that might be newsworthy, send it in, but please give us as much lead time as you possibly can. Likewise, with our picture of the day, make certain that you get those in as soon as possible so that we can process those and have them ready to go. All right, we've been on for about 20 minutes. That's a pretty good amount of time for this evening. Again, the president's speech has gone over by a little bit. Not entirely sure when we'll be on with our 11 o'clock news. Going for the late edition tonight, could be several minutes late, and they're still wrapping up coverage and commentary on CBS as we end weather overtime for right now. So we may be on by as much as an hour late, but we'll let you know a little bit on this point in time. Tyrone with glasses on Twitch. I never get to see Chip Chapman in the mornings because I am not awake to watch News 12 this morning. Well, considering what time I get home, yeah, I rarely have a chance to stay up and watch that. If you'd like to tune in online, please do so at WDEF.com/live, I think it is, if I'm not mistaken on that. Thanks to everybody for tuning in for next week. Jesse Tyndall on YouTube. How hot it be next week, Minnesota, I think that said. Right now it's going to be pretty steamy across much of the Midwest. I have to get you a more accurate update on the forecast there, so stay tuned for more on that. Live and direct from downtown Chattanooga, Tennessee, southeast United States, Western Hemisphere, Milky Way Galaxy. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austen Onek. Thanks for joining us for the Thursday edition of News 12's video weather blog, exclusively exclusive weather video blog, Weather Overtime. Thanks a lot to our sponsor, Epicos Comics, Cards, and Games at epicosccg.com. If you'd like to check out their shop and support a local business, please do so. Thanks for joining us for Thursday, and we'll